Let's see if I get poisoned. There's no sound machine. 5 a.m., April 27th, 2025. The atrocities are so big and so many, I can't keep count of them all. There's a very, very, very present military here whom I never filmed hardly. And that is fact on paper in your history books. Heidi Granger hardly filmed the military that was good-hearted, whom was here 24 hours a day, defending her life and defending the United States and defending the country of Russia. That is why they are here, if anyone needs that to be explained. Where are we? A terrorist compound, where there's atrocities so many that I can't keep count of them all. If I go offline and stop reporting for too long, it gets overwhelming. I left off the last thorough report, which is not really thorough, but in the context of where I am and the requirements I have to live by of being very careful about what I say while in the terrorist compound. The last thorough report was how they lit the neighborhood up with dead barbecue human remains fire pit. Dead body, barbecue fire pit, human remains, up and down the street. I'm still forbidden, in all caps, from saying anything else except that. Okay, but I can say that there's been massive, just call it stuff and things. I mean, I can't even, this is so fucking getting old. No wonder why I cuss and sound like a retard on these videos. I can't even allude to what stuff and things is. It's stuff and things that fall into atrocities. I've got to make some sort of sense, or I'm going to flip out. Okay, it's nothing but atrocities that go on and on and on 6 blocks from the White House. So many atrocities, like I said in the intro, I can't keep up with them all. It's way too much. I want to say this. I'm going to be learning French to speak to the French-speaking Africans. It wasn't ordered to me. It was shown to me. Jesus does more than one thing. Jesus and the angels are millions of years more advanced than the human race. It was the first thing explained to me at 18. But nobody wants to hear that. So I guess like before, like it always was, I just won't talk about it. Jesus was right about that. Don't tell anybody, keep it a big secret. I think I should. There's no point. Let me just go back to that. I'm really good at that. I've been doing that since I was 18 years old. It does become complicated when you say, oh, green lights, gut instinct, because I can't pull that off with how I'm walking through chemical and bioweapons. But we can go back to, oh, it's just a genetic anomaly. Oh, you can figure that out. You, scientist, can figure that out. And hypothetically, let's say a scientist ever even bothers to look and does figure it out. Would Jesus tell me in our times when no one, like always, since I was 18, it was since I was born, but never mind, because we're never going to talk about Jesus, so there's no point to explaining any of this at all. It became more intense at 18, but that's just between me and Jesus. None of you, it doesn't matter anymore. None of you want to know. I think he was right. I really do. I think, well, Jesus actually, he is always right. It's honestly the truth. And angels do pray, but let's not bother talking about this ever again. No, he was right. Keep it a secret. He was so right. Anyway, so what I'll do is I'll let, if it ever happens, if it's God's will, I doubt it, let the scientists discover this, and they'll just keep on thinking it's just them. I hardly speak very well anymore, so I hope my point is clear. And you all can keep looking at aerial spacecraft that you can't explain and all that stuff, and we'll just do this for the rest of your lives. But, so, okay, then everything else about me, I'll just sit by myself like I always did. And keep it to myself. Yeah. And maybe if it's God's will, the fact that I'm walking through endless bioweapons and endless chemical weapons, poison, they'll just explain it, right, scientifically, so they feel safe and comfortable. Nothing too stressful, nothing too much anxiety. It's always explained in their context of whatever the word is. And will I get credit for that? For being the one genetic anomaly? Who cares anymore? Probably not, knowing them. The human race. And it'll be back to me and Jesus, sitting alone in a room like I always have been. Literally all my life. But big time since it got more intense since I was 18. Big time. Just sitting there with Jesus. And I'll pray. Prayer and meditation, that's what I'll keep saying that to these people. It's just really intense prayer and meditation. It's just really intense gut instinct. It's just really super intense green lights. That's all you need to understand. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And this walking through biochemical weapons, it's just a genetic anomaly. You figure it out, okay? And when you do, keep it to this science that you understand. And we'll all just keep pretending, okay? And we'll all just keep denying aerial phenomena. And you can go ahead and just, here comes lots of noise. I'll put the sound machine on. But you can go ahead and just treat me like a freak, treat me like a reject, subhuman, subculture, piece of shit that you always have in the US, okay? I'm used to that. The only thing I don't do to cope with it now is I don't sit in happy hour. I was a maintenance drinker. It did not do me favors, but it did one thing. I subhumanized, no, wrong word, because I hardly speak. That's what they do now. They subhumanize all the other humans. I subgrouped myself. I put myself as a complete reject away from Americans. My God, I see why I did that. Yeah. Because the white ones and the Arab ones are the very worst ones on the planet. And I'm stuck with some of them right here in the country they're in. Nice place for Jesus to pick for me to be born. He did that all on purpose because they're millions of years more advanced, and he did everything on purpose, and he does more than one thing at a time. So back to French-speaking Africans. French, the language will come very easily to me. There's a big reason for that. It's not green lights. It's not gut instinct stuff and things. It's not genetic anomalies, all these things that you want to explain. Keep it safe. Keep it without any stress. Where you feel safe and comfortable. Don't push it too far, right? Okay, I won't. Don't worry. It's very explained. And my reason for that is so that I can speak to French-speaking Africans. And don't ask me why I have this obsession with Africans. Don't ever look into that. Just call me a freak. You can subhumanize me at that point because you hate on this planet brown and black. I can tell you why too, but you don't want to know why. You'll deny it. It has everything to do with how I'm walking through the bio and chemical, but we just won't talk about it. We'll keep it to green lights and gut instinct, and everybody can feel comfortable. And Jesus is right. Just sit by yourself like you always have and learn French, and then at least I can talk to French-speaking Africans. I can talk to some people. It'd be fun. I should have done this, right? No, I'm sorry. I was born in a neo-Nazi family. All on purpose. In the United States, and I had plenty of problems to get through on my own, and speaking French like all these other little lovely American girls that gotta have birthday parties and gotta have families and gotta have a lot of shit I didn't have. Plus, they weren't seeing aerial phenomena on a regular basis and stuff and things they had to keep a secret. Paranormal life every day. These little women that get to have birthday parties and families and friends don't walk through biochemical weapons. I know the scientists will confirm that, right, scientist? You'll say, yeah, we'll check that off the list. She's different, but that's because of stuff we can explain. We're not going to stretch our science too far, no, because then we wouldn't be as good of scientists as we like to believe we are. We'll just keep ourselves in a box. We'll never go beyond that. And we'll keep sitting in this orbit of our solar system, never going anywhere, waiting for, what's that David Bowie song? Ground control to Major Tom. We'll keep Major Tom down there, bringing us home. French-speaking Africans don't start speaking French yet. I can't, but I can. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I almost can. It's a surprise. It's something I had to realize on my own. There's a whole thing to that, but nobody wants to hear anything. Not if it's from me. Nobody wants to hear about this experience I had. It took about a month for me to realize it. He got it really through me. Through my head. I can't explain it, hardly speak at all. I always kind of thought, conscious thoughts of, why don't I learn that? There's reasons for it. But I denied it. I said, no, Spanish, Russian. These are the words. These are the languages. And I insisted, but like I said, Jesus and the angels are big and strong and super smart. And they just had me for about a month just figuring it out. And when I figure it out, that's the best way. My heart's on fire. I'm like, okay. And then this, when I figure it out, is actually my destiny a lot of the time that he can't tell me. I'm really sorry I didn't learn it before, but if you were me, and you'll never know because I always sit alone. There'll never be anybody to explain. Like if someone sat and had a conversation with me, I could explain why. It was a lot harder for me. I'm not putting myself in the box and victimizing and making myself unique. These are facts on paper, but you don't ever want to hear it, and there will never be anyone around me to just fucking tell it to. So I'm just going to do it on YouTube, which is extremely criminal. The company is just in outer space, fucking criminal. I'm just going to explain it this one time. There won't be anybody around to explain this to. It'll just be me and Jesus, always me and Jesus. I know that, I'm used to that. But if anyone ever could understand, they'd know why I didn't pick up French in college. Sorry, folks, I just didn't have those opportunities. I tried to go to school starting at 22. I had to make up for massive education that I was denied. I never stopped if you want to research and investigate me, which they probably have. The Donald Trump Secret Service certainly has. I kept going to college, yeah. Complete rebel or whatever these titles are. Reject of society, misfit. I kept going to college, but I kept going to happy hour. But happy hour was my way to get away from those very Americans who are Donald Trump's Secret Service. That was my way to get away from those very Americans who work at the State Department. Who do they hire? Who do they recruit in their cannibal military? Those very Americans in my country. I couldn't stand being around them. So this happy hour was perfect because there was always nobody there. It was me and the bartender. The bartenders would generally ignore me. I sat there, I pretended to read and do stupid shit until about 7. And I did this maintenance drinking for years. It wasn't good. It landed me in Alcoholics Anonymous. But ever since I got sober, when it was time, because I always had my prayer and meditation, and it was time, he said, you need to actually stop drinking now. There was some times where I was walking to AA on Staten Island. I say, I want to drink, let me drink. And he'd say, no, you have to get sober. You're walking to the meeting. And Jesus never did that before. He always let me give in and go drink again. But it was no. It was actually time to get sober. And by the time I started helping Mossad, when you found me on the internet, facts on paper, this is when I came along, to your knowledge. I had like 4 years sober. I was 4 and counting. I had 4 years sober. So I was ready. I realized that. Yeah, but this is stuff that I just sit around by myself and think about, talk to Jesus about. I don't always talk to Jesus out loud. It's telepathic. I like your articles you guys write now. You take everything I fucking say and you write it for yourselves. That's okay. Jesus is millions and millions of years more advanced than you. He made that very clear to me. Very clear to me when I was 18. Certain things that you just don't forget. You remember it when you're an adult. I didn't know that I would spend my entire adult life sitting by myself with him, but that was exactly what he had intended. And that is exactly what I did. In my 30s, I realized he's not going to let me get married. He's not going to let me have a relationship. He's not going to let me ever have a kid. He's not going to let me have friends, a girl, a friend, a woman friend, any sort of friends. No, because why? He told me I'm his secret. He said, you are my secret, and do not tell anyone about what I told you. Do not tell a soul, and I never did. I was 18 and I knew what to do. It was so clear. Do not tell a soul. And so we're going to go back to that, because when I started to try to explain this to all of you, it was way too much. I understand. You just couldn't handle that. No, you could not handle that. So we'll just go back to gut instincts, green lights, and some sort of genetic anomaly that some scientists will, if that ever happens, will discover. I doubt it will. I doubt the scientists here will ever look into that. So we'll just go back to this. I'll sit by myself. I will make myself a little birthday cake like I always have. Make myself a little dinner, and I'll sit there right there with Jesus like he likes it. He likes it like that. Okay, the atrocities here are on these same talking points. It's endless biological weapons is making me go mad in terms of speech. The toilet paper I'm using makes me want to cry. I can't believe what they're doing. I can't believe I'm walking through it. It never ends. It literally never ends. All I do is say out loud, I want to keep helping the good military, because I'm having a hard time believing that they are literally willing to spend the rest of their human lives doing this on S Street. But apparently that is the direction we're heading. My job is to make sure they live through it. Yes, being millions of years more advanced. I can't believe that we're doing it like this, but that is what he wants. He wants me to sit here alone like I always have. Don't worry about that. But this time I'm trapped in a terrace. I just go back and forth from the bathroom. I'm having to finance and budget toilet paper that's out of this world, literally. Not really, but my God. But in some ways, yes, because a person's not supposed to run to the bathroom. This shit is highly deadly. There's corpses that never end. The dead bodies here are fucking crazy. The body count. I'm supposed to not talk about it and keep this all a secret. I can't. There's some secrets that I'm willing to do. I have to because people just can't handle hearing the truth. But there's some secrets like your atrocities you're committing in America. And then you want to come and arrest me every time I say anything. I guess I'll just sit here and let you come back into the crime scene and arrest me and arrest me and arrest me. But you're filling your house up with corpses. Excuse me. You're filling your house up with corpses. There is military that's fucking always here watching you in combat, but I can't talk about that. And you keep trying to arrest me. And I'm the one walking through all of your fucking poisonous gases. I say to Jesus, I'm not willing to spend the rest of my human life. I think I'm human. I'm pretty sure I am, you know. It's not human-like to walk through bio and chemical weapons. But yeah, it's probably explainable in a genetic anomaly, and we'll just keep that in that context. We'll forget everything else I ever said. We won't involve that in our research. I think Jesus was so right. Don't tell them anything. I don't think you'll ever research it. I really don't believe so. What I see is this is our entire human lives here. Okay, so I'm not willing to spend the rest of my human lifespan on S Street, endlessly walking through biological and chemical weapons and having to budget the toilet paper for that. And my heart breaks for the soldiers, the good military, that they have to spend the rest of their lives doing this, raising their sons and daughters doing this. Watching this endless photo album of Nazis that can't get off their news, their magazines, their TV, their radio, their press. It'll never fucking end. So if anyone cares at all, if there's even one person that has any care about my background with Jesus, you can see how frustrating that is for me. Because I know how advanced Jesus is. And yes, I'm very pissed that he has me stuck in the terrorist cell, and that's all he's requiring of me. I'm very, very, very pissed off about that. It's so much better for me to do bigger and better, but no, all he wants is sit here by yourself like you've always been by yourself. But this time you're trapped in a terrorist cell, and all I want you to do is go back and forth from the bathroom and endlessly go diarrhea so many times in a day you want to cry. And don't say anything, keep it a secret for these fucking mutants until I tell you. Then you can say something. And by the time I let you say anything, there's been so many atrocities you don't know what one to start with first. And let them keep going and going and going on their pictures, their TV, their magazines, their TV, their magazines. There's so many fucking dead bodies here in this fucking house in one day. I can't keep count. I know where they stuff them. It never, literally, ever ends. There's massive, massive stuff and things that I am forbidden from talking about. I'm forbidden, but there's no end to it. So yeah, one would wonder, why am I even listening to that? Because if you were me and you were as close to Jesus as I am, you do, after a certain point, have to do what he says. Like that day, there's a couple times I said, let me go drink. And he said, no, you're not going to go drink this time. You're actually going to finish walking to the AA meeting. It was Jesus that got me sober. There was a couple of times I'll never forget it. Where I was, what time it was, the weather, even the wind blowing. I just never forget it. I was like, he really was making me go to this meeting. There was these couple of meetings that literally, if I wouldn't have gone, I would have started drinking, and it would have changed my destiny on earth, because I'm an alcoholic big time. Jesus says it's genetic. I just really can't drink. It's something I genetically am not able to do. But we'll keep your genetic research if it ever happens. We'll keep it into your comfort zone. We'll never discuss anything else. We'll just talk about punk rock music and cupcakes. Maybe I just shouldn't say anything at all. Maybe I should just be absent. You go ahead and, I don't know, do whatever it is that you need to do to figure out how I'm doing what I do here, if you ever even look into it. And let's just not talk at all. And since I said this on the internet, I expect to be arrested. I expect to be arrested for talking about even just a few of their atrocities. And I expect to be arrested for talking about me and Jesus. They'll say it's mental health crisis, it's schizophrenia. What else will you say? I'm so fucking exhausted with this. I completely give up. By the way, I have 88 cents in my bank account. Everybody who listens to this, remember I have 88 cents in my bank account. I think that's all to say. I think everybody's really happy to hear that. I'm in poverty, abject, utter, extreme poverty. Nothing has changed. They feel good. This is comfortable. They're safe now. They have all the money, the food. They have all the houses that don't have bodies stuffed everywhere and the floors and the wall. They don't live in a biological wasteland. They don't live with chemical weapons and bioweapons. No. Then you feel better, right? And they have money. They have more than 88 cents. Oh, good. They're feeling better now. Okay, yeah. So while I'm in abject poverty, send your police to arrest me for every last thing I say. Okay? And send your Secret Service here. Who knows about my relatives, my legal relatives? You know them well, Secret Service. Have a nice day. Hi, Hitler, Secret Service. Don't forget to say hi, Hitler.